My backgrounds are amazing, okay? I will hear none of it. I mean, Hoodwink is still in the pool against a Timbersaw is honestly a pretty surprising thing. Maybe just saying, look, if they try and Hoodwink, we've at least got a Monkey King and a Timber that can either have vision or cut through trees, but it is always a little bit of a concern having to come up against this. You know, Sand King, Hoodwink, great combination to be able to lock him down. Even just Wind Ranger as well, right? You never want to use the focus fire onto a Timbersaw if he's not broken. So I think we should see these first three from Neon look to make a lot of early rotations.
We kind of glossed over with you just talking a bunch of shit that there's a Wind Ranger first phase. What's going on?
I hate it. No, I'm kidding. But like maybe it's the similar sort of mentality of Army Geniuses just opening up their second phase last game with an Ember, saying, "Look, we have the flexibility to move it into multiple roles." Like I've even seen Army Geniuses play it as a position 4 in the past. You've seen it as a 5, right? On Roger and I think a Chinese team that they played it as a position 5. So I'm not a big fan. I feel like it does one thing and it is very reliant on individual skill. Maybe I guess you're going to be playing around trees a lot, so it could be okay, but I don't know. I'm not sold.
But I'm pretty sure it's got a like. There's a lot of abilities now with their mechanics on cutting down trees is very weird. I don't think you get all the trees with wherever the power shot is. Like you'll get a couple.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, sorry, that the Timber and Monkey King are going to be playing around trees a lot, and so Shackle is more likely to hit, basically.
Well, this is a hero that Army Geniuses were putting a lot of emphasis on prior. The Gyrocopter is something
Could
that...
be a 5 gyro.
Yep, that's... Yeah. Varize really likes the Gyro 5. DB also really likes the Gyro as a 1, so there's a lot of flexibility for Army Geniuses.
Radiant team ban.
Honestly, even the Monkey could be a 1, right? Like, it could be a Monkey Gyro lane. Which you don't see all that often. Alright. Against a Batrider, they don't have any cleanse right now, so that's a bit of a plus, but you could very easily just draft into it. Bane's still in the pool even. You don't necessarily need the cleanse, just a way to be able to break the to stop the Batrider from having a lot of impact. Even just something like the lift can be fine. Don't know if they'd go down that route though.
Alright, well this for me, this has to be an exceptional last pick for Army Geniuses to change my mind. I think Batrider wins in this game. I look away from the Wind Ranger. I see Sand King, Hoodwink, like decent heroes. You got Initiation, you got Burst, strong lane. You got a Batrider who literally bodies all of these heroes. Gyrocopter especially as well if you're played as a core. Just the lasso to drag him further away from the team and break the formation is going to be a big issue. And I don't know what you do now on Army Geniuses. Like Timber's going to be 3. DK is going to be 2. They're banning out a Quap. I really don't see how they can ever flex this. Maybe DK is a support, but...
Yeah, that's all I was thinking. Like a DK support and then have a different mid laner to go up against the Bat. But what can you do, you know? No Quap, no Ember, no Storm. Void Spirit doesn't feel amazing either. Not a mid LC. Not a... No, even Slark doesn't feel great this game. Puck. There's a lot of heroes with mobility. Does it have to be Void Spirit? Even that doesn't feel great.
Well, I really thought they were just going to look for a saving support. I don't see...
On AG, like an IO.
I don't see why they can't Abaddon. What do they do? Oh boy.
Slark.
I did say Slark. So, Slark 1, Gyro 5, DK mid.
I think you lane the Slark
mid.
versus the Batrider. I don't think Slark lanes versus Sand King Hoodwink. That's not a good lane.
Yeah. No, I actually agree with you. You just want the Dark Pact. So, Slark mid.
DK safe.
DK... No, it could be a DK4.
DK safe. But DB's played it before, and you go... Timber into Sand King Hoodwinks can be vulnerable as well. Of course, it's the strength hero, but I think you would prefer to have the Gyro and DK play together. It's all going to depend with this carry,
Now
which is
select
the
your
biggest
heroes.
counter to the Slark. I'm Neon. This is
Your
they've
Neon
got,
gang?
yep, I'm Neon Gang. They've got plenty of damage in Chrono. The big reason why the Void is a answer to the Slark is Chrono just absolutely destroys him. Like, Slark is not a team fighting hero. Void is always going to be able to scale. You've got an AoE control, a big AoE control as well, which that and DPS is something that Slark really hates to play into because you really rely on your Shadow Dance. So this is I'm a big fan of this last pick from with the Faceless Void.
Yeah, Neon's draft is very good. I remember seeing or reading about some sort of bug with Chrono where I think if you're Shadow Danced, you can't attack the Slark, but if you're Depth Shrouded, you can for whatever reason. So it's a bit weird. I'm just gonna have a look at these lanes. Slark, Batrider. Slark is probably the best option that they had remaining for themselves, so it's still gonna be Batrider favor, but not quite as bad.
Real quick, can they go like Sand King mid and change the lane, or are you happy with just Batrider going to this?
I'm fine with it, just because Slark isn't gonna have a great game, and I feel like you've got the answer for it in the Void anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, the Batrider's not really gonna do anything against the Dragon Knight top, right? Whereas the Sand King, at least he'll be able to farm. The kill threat doesn't. Kill threat might be there for a Sand King Hoodwink though, with a gyro plus a DK. And then the offlane, what do we got? Timber
Prepare for
plus
battle.
a Monkey King into a Faceless Void Wind Ranger combination.
All right, so I've done my Jollibee research, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
And their menu's kind of looking pretty dank for all my Filipinos out there. Do not stress. I'm a Jollibee's fan. Don't listen to what Gonad is spreading rumors of.
I didn't say you weren't a fan. I just said that you were
Schwan?
uninformed. I don't know what you're doing, Mr. Schwan.
Oh,
Even the
no.
body
You're
block.
going to give a sack over to Azura as well. Yo, run to the tower. Don't let them get the first blood gold. All right. And it's... No, Azura didn't get the essence stack. Oh, that's no good.
30
Work.
seconds to
Why didn't he
battle.
get it?
That's a great question. This essence shift mechanic is very weird. I've never understood, like...
Maybe our hero needs to get it, not the tower.
Sure. Sure. All right, where we put in our chips? Come on.
I agree with you that Neon are preferable. I just hate this win range of 5. Like, I really do. Everything else about the draft is great. Like, what's exactly it going to be providing to you this game? Like, controlling Monkey, I feel like, is it. That is all it's going to be doing for this team. Your Windrunner is going to be... your Focus Fire is going to be pretty useless against the Timber Saw because you're a 5, you're not going to get farm. So yeah, I think it's just about being able to, when the Monkey King comes down from the trees, tries to, Primal Spring and then jump right back on up. It's just his job to be able to shackle shot him and get back to safety. It's Neon. 4 out of 5 ain't bad. And we have to remember what it's for, right? Neon need to win this one game. I think if they don't, they're actually in danger of being that relegated team, by the way.
Dire's courier has been
Like,
killed.
significant danger, actually. Because right now, in terms of like tiebreaker points, they're slightly behind both Little Gun and Motivate. Of course, the upcoming 2 series can potentially change that, but if nothing else changed and they just lost, then I think they might be the relegated team. So it's a lot to play for.
Neon Gang.
You're not Sheepstick.
You sure?
I am positive. You're not British.
Maybe I've taken over.
Don't ever claim to be British in my presence again.
Why? What? What's wrong with British people?
Get out of here.
We got some admins that are...
Yeah, exactly. We got Dougie, we got Ninor. We can't trust them. Not one bit.
You know, Dougie lives in a castle?
In an actual castle?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Bro, Dougie, where's the picks? Send them through.
I know. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed.
He needs to do like one of those episodes of MTV Cribs, you know, like Eminem's like, "This is my crib. Hey, this is my moat." You know,
Mid
keeps
lane.
the
Azura, plenty of stick charges to turn it. Woo! Azura, very nicely done. And
he's gonna lose so much experience as well.
And bottom lane. Oh, Army Genius is off to a flying start.
You wanted that.
I did feel like this bottom lane could go well, but I was not expecting that mid kill. Like it's a lot to have to deal with, right? Stun into survivability. You don't really care about the sandstorm too much. Variza's going to be able to output a decent amount of that consistent damage coming through with the rocket barrage. He's going into the boots. I wouldn't even hate like would I actually? I was thinking maybe the veil for the yeah, he doesn't get the pull off for the gyro in this lane. It just feels good, right? To be able to consistently allow the DK to have mana. I don't think he's going for a soul ring at all, so it would have allowed him to spam things out a lot more frequently.
Very good Vaylo game. Yep. Timber's damage amplifying.
Yep.
Dragonite.
Slark.
Yeah. I'm really like it. I mean, we've seen what a position 5, or just in general, I should say, a support gyrocopter can really do with the Ag Shard and the Veil. So, oh my lord, DB, great reactions getting into the Acorn. I feel like Enry, once they get some levels, this lane should be a little bit better for them. But they're going to lose Sentry Control, which is very grim now for Enryu.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Now, I want to ask you,
yes, sir?
Don't change anything. At the moment, are you on last hits or are you on net worth?
Last hits. Net worth, I imagine Enryu's like 700 behind DB.
No, I was going to look at that. I was looking at last hits anyway. Would you have expected at this point in the game, Slark would have 10 denies against Batrider's 1?
I'm not surprised. 10 is a lot,
Radiant's
but
middle tower is under attack.
10 denies, bro.
it's a very good matchup, man. Like, it is... It's the counter. Like, it is the counter, the lane, the game. I'm a bit surprised, honestly, Azura went phase boots, but like, Batrider needs sticky napalms to be able to last it, and Azura can just dispel it, posture aggressively. He's almost got level 6 as well, so he can just rely on his sustain to kind of push Avatar mode away from the lane. So the Batrider kind of has to play with his spells, well, in particular Firefly, to try and CS, and really you want that to get kills. So it's definitely not an ideal playstyle that the Batrider has to be utilizing in this game.
Sure, and I feel like it goes back in his favor once he gets the BKB for himself, just because you don't really have to care about the Slark anymore past that point. They have no BKB piercing disables right now on Army Genius's side, but you just want to be avoiding this Slark once you get out of that laning phase.
Oh, you definitely are right there. There's always windows for a Batrider. I think that's always the beautiful thing. Say it often about Dota. It's how there's going to be opportunities for matchups to turn it on his head, as Chuan should be chased down. Wind run up in 3 seconds. They're going to boundless so as soon as he turns for the wind run, but nice sidestep from Chuan. Should be able to get out of harm's way, although he's running. No, you got to let Azura get... Oh, no. Azura's like, come on, brother. I need my essence. Down bottom as well, Jing. Little bit of trouble. Able to deal with the homing missile, holds back DB for the moment, and that is Space Create. Although he's got no Scurry, of course, very early on with only level 3 for poor old Jing. Oh, nice Acorn. No way he gets a TP out. They drop a Sentry.
Oh.
That's a really awesome individual play from both the players there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jing and Varize so close for that Acorn shot TP out, and then for Varize to use the Sentry for just the short duration vision to get that kill.
They've even looked to move Narman mid to make sure, Azura, where you going? I guess he's trying to take away the bounty rune. He doesn't need any kind of regen. Or perhaps they're looking to go for a kill onto Avatar mode. They got the pounce. Ooh, they got the pounce. Hello? He just doesn't want to allow a TP away, I guess, but they're not going to get this kill, I don't think. He might even go for the... Ooh, nice. He had to pounce away. He had the lasso available.
Well, these lanes are starting to get to a stage where it's going to be very difficult for Neon to play into them. I think in particular...
Enryu might be dead. He doesn't have Sandstorm.
Hi, Enryu. It was good knowing you, my friend. Oh. One more right click. He's got Burrow up. No. Enryu goes back in? The ball's on there. Oh, they drop an Observer. That's not a Sentry. No way. Enryu's not going to die. What's going on?
They dropped the sentry. I mean, the observer. Oh my god. That gives you a little bit of vision for the lane. Look at that.
What's going on? Twan didn't die. Avatar mode gets a kill. And now Azura's going to step in, but...
Dire's middle tower is
Oh,
under
he
attack.
didn't drop the sentry on the high ground as
turret
well.
has been
Has he got his choreo? Okay, he's got his choreo. Dude.
We're seeing some great plays mixed with some slightly questionable ones coming through,
Go
but
for it, Azura.
you know,
Backstab onto Jing. Or old hood. Oh! Namen.
he's just so much more survivable with that 1 point in the scurry, though, right? Even just for the passive evasion against someone like the Slark or the Monkey King, incredibly impactful.
Is it your fault because you were seeing the praises of Namen at the start of the series? And actually, hold that real quick, top lane. Avatar mode's going to TP in along with Chwam. Wommy. He will be killed off. And this is the big thing. The Batrider is an incredible matchup versus the Timbersaur's bottom lane as well. They will be able to find the Sand King. So a 1-for-1 across the map. Both position 3s will be sacrificed.
Very hard to kill DB now at this point, though. He's level 6, 8 minutes in the side lane, which is very impressive. Also has the chip vest, multiple points in the Dragon's Blood, so...
Azura's
even
onto
he wants-
Chwam. He's got the haste as well, so Azura can continue the chase.
My quiver is empty.
Hope you don't get a couple of bashes. Is Azura... Is he really
He's
going
got
to do
Chrono.
this? Azura... Do... Alright, he's up to
Be
2
very careful
perma.
there. Hunting Avatar mode.
Doesn't have a TP. Okay.
You're standing the Firefly, my guy.
I don't know, he likes fire. He likes flames, you know? Some people want to burn. You know those people that like to step over coals? And the crazy
That's
ones
to say
is
that-
bottom
that
lane?
like to burn things.
Yeah. Oh no.
Radiant's
Bottom
bottom
lane.
tower is under attack.
Poor old Sand King giving another kill over. DB's having a really good start. Second in the net worth, working on the Midas. In fact, he's got it completed now for the Dragonite. So this position 1 DK, he is going to have a lot of net worth to play with this in game 2.
They're going for a bit of a dive here onto Mice. Got to be careful. I mean, Chronosphere is available if he uses the magic wand charge here.
Ooh! Whoa! That was a lot.
Alrighty.
Was not expecting it to be that much damage. Are they going to take this fight?
Dire's
They don't
middle
have,
tower is
Shadow
under
Dance.
attack.
I have Lasso on Avatar mode.
Oh, they spotted him.
Nicely done. Needs to stack up the sticky. Wami doesn't have a way to dispel this at the moment. Azura's going to need to hold back Avatar mode and with him posturing aggressively, but this is space. Meanwhile, mid lane. Both the supports.
Support.
Yep, let's
Yeah.
go. Support gang.
It's just objective-based gaming. That's what supports are
Uh-oh,
all about, you
bumper
know?
Oh.
You can't kill them. What do you have?
You got Sharpshooter. You'll probably go for it onto 1. Maybe you won't get the second. Although Sand King's going to TP through. And like you said, what do they have? They're lacking a lot of damage. They might not even need it, in fact, as they don't have the level 6 on Jing. But all you needed was the Chrono into the follow-up stuns afterwards. Meanwhile, to the north, Wami. Trying to steer his focus down to this area. Wami's in a bit of trouble, but the maxed out chain's giving him a lot of mobility.
No flame break.
Oh!
Yeah, he wouldn't have left it.
Lot of
That mid lane is incredibly low. Hopefully Mice looks to deny it. It's on 8 HP, the tower.
And Ryu
Bottom lane,
might be
they
in
might
trouble,
be-
yeah.
They got a dust.
Get out.
Very late use. How does that fire walking work? I've never like sure you just scorch your feet.
Cold moss, cold moss, cold moss, cold moss. You just say something over in your consistently over in your head.
The body still gets burned, bro.
Well,
Like you might not feel pain, but you're gonna
Dire's
suffer
middle tower has
afterwards.
fallen.
I don't know. My uncle's done it, and his strategy was saying cold moss a couple of times. Not a couple
Is he one of
times.
those weird uncles?
Define weird. He's unique, but I
So
would
yes,
not say
the
weird.
answer is yes.
Well, okay, hang on. If whoever wants to walk over coals is weird in itself. Faceless Void. Got the time walk off shortly. That's going to be okay. They are starting to backstab to the triangle as Army Geniuses are taking away some of the ancient stack. I don't know if Neon
took
can
everything.
contest this.
Dire's
They
bottom
took
tower
literally
is under
everything. There was
attack.
They're going to move in. They've got the
Stack as well.
sharpshooter. But the combo's going to get dropped. Call down to the middle of the five. Ariz on a support gyro is doing way too much damage for Neon to handle. But they did use a lot from Army Geniuses. Azura's got a double damage rune though, and meanwhile off to the side, Avatar mode is going to be able to chase down the Timber Saw. Hood will not protect him as they find multiple sticky napalm stacked, but Silly's in trouble. Now DB's going to look to enter the fight with the Dragon Tail, controlling up one. Might still got the time lock, so it's going to be okay, but it's the Hoodwink where they look to turn their attention to instead, as Azura, a perfectly timed double damage rune, helps out drastically as he's able to find his 6th perma essence stack of the game.
It's just the little things that Azura's been doing incredibly well. You know, even in that team fight where he's trying to chase the Hoodwink, making sure to use the Quelling Blade for that little extra amount, preventing the TPs out from people like the Batrider, for example, by timing and waiting to use the pounce until the very end of that dive. He's just playing an incredible game so far. So your uncle is weird, that's what we're saying.
Again, if anyone wants to walk over hot coals, there's something unique about you.
Unique is the polite way of putting
Dire's
it.
top
Well,
tower
no,
is
it's
under
really the
attack.
way I would put it. Weed is like a...
Visibility.
Radiant's bottom tower
Who
is
else would
under
you put
attack.
into the weird category?
Definitely, well, I wouldn't put him. I'd definitely put you. There's something wrong with you.
What's weird about me?
Oh, don't even get me started. Chat, it's a long list, I tell you what. Gonad is a interesting person as the Sand King. Gives over a killing spree to DB. But how is...
I am interesting.
Oh, yeah, well, one way to put it. Midas Bling Dagger on DB. 7,000 net worth on Army Geniuses. And... what is... Alright, so... Come on, tell me, Mr. Interesting Person. What is the game plan for Neon to get back into this?
I mean, you're just lacking damage inside the Chronosphere for mine. Oh, they're going to get in onto Chuan. The useless Wind Ranger is dead again.
Jesus,
but like...
no, don't...
like,
no.
Like,
Where's the
they
fifth?
agree.
They all do it? One...
They've probably run out.
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah, there's the
attack.
fifth. The fifth, it would just... You only have room for 4 at a time. They really got to change that. Gaben, if you're listening, make sure to add the 5th tip slot so you can see if an entire team tips.
I like how you add if he's listening, but we both know he really couldn't give a damn about you.
I mean, you're kind of roasting yourself there because you're also casting.
Dire's top tower is
No, no,
under
no,
attack.
well, I'm not you though.
Agreed. You will never be me. Anyway, to be able to come back into this, I think they need damage inside Chronosphere, right? Because ever since they changed the Wind Ranger to being a support instead of a core, yes, you wanted to have that flexibility from the start, but you're just not going to do anything inside of Chronospheres right now, right? Like, Epicenter's not going to hit, Batrider's not going to have impact because Firefly is not going to be on the right targets. It's basically only Sharpshooter. And Sharpshooter plus, I mean, maybe once he gets Maelstrom, he could kill, like, I don't know,
Radiant
the
are
supports.
scanning.
It's just not enough, but it's
Radiant's
the way
bottom
that you're going to
tower is
start
under
coming back
attack.
into this game.
Well, they do have a blink at least onto Enryu. Is they going to try and target down Azure at the moment? That's a great blink reveal. A combo drop straight onto the dome of Azura. As they give 434 gold over to Jing, so getting him a bit closer to the Spirit Vessel.
But even a great Vessel game, though. Slark's going to be able to get rid of it. DK will have BKB. Timber's got Yules already. Not sure it is.
Uh-oh, Mice is farming under a ward. Get out, my friend.
To me, this is one of those games where you can understand wanting to go for the Vessel, but I feel like something like an Aegis there is.
line. Mice? This is a T2. Yo, it's still a lot of damage. So much burst potential, but
Got a
again, they got
DK.
the multi-shot damage as well, helping out. So DK's going to be dragged back to his death. Meanwhile, Wommy up near the triangle is going to chain the opposite direction of his team. But do
Gyro
they
shot.
turn it around? Look at the Gyro's damage. Trying to find another homing missiles. Naman's playing on the right side as well. They need a way to enter the
It's so much
fight.
damage.
As the Chakram gets the kill onto one. Now Azura with the backstab. Oh, Jing. Now this guy up surely. Azura's going to turn his attention to Chuan now with the wind run being kited. Does Azura go for the high ground? Yeah, why not? You got Shadow Dance. You should be able to escape afterwards. Even to pounce back off cooldown. As meanwhile, they're turning their attention to Jing. And in the end, it'll be a 5-man wipe as Army Geniuses continuing
Dire's
with
bottom
their
tower is
routing
under
in the
attack.
second game.
Oh, props to Gyro for that team fight, right? Just being able to get off 3 separate homing missiles. Does he have the Veil? That's what I want to know. No, he doesn't. He's prioritized a little bit more into his own survivability, which makes sense. You know, you've got a lineup that can, you know, the supports get killed off by this Bat Rider, by the Blink Epi, by the Chronosphere. But unluckily for Neon up to this point, they haven't had a chance to use that Chrono as a response. At least they've got the Maelstrom now, but you've got to start getting value out of it. Again, even if it's just supports, it's going to be worth it.
So again, we're under the assumption, right, that if Neon loses this game, then they're eliminated?
Dire's middle tower is
It's...
under attack.
We'll ask our lovely British admins, but I think it's going to be close. I think it might still depend on one of the next 2 series, though.
Oh, nice double shackles. This might give them an opportunity, as Enryu's going to jump into the middle with the epicenter damage. Army Geniuses are in trouble. Woman's able to find the chain down to the south of the Chrono. Onto Azura, who's going to be in trouble for the moment. Boundless Strike, giving him a little bit of time, but it's not enough for an opportunity with that Shadow Dance. And this is a huge fight for Neon. They're going to get Narman as well afterwards to Wukong's, just delaying the inevitable. Wombi. Dude, this Timbersaur's doing so much damage. Enryu jumps back in, so does Mice. But Sand King sacrifices his life just for a measly Monkey King, but they're going to consider Wombi. They've got the Spirit Vessel out. He doesn't get the Yules off as well to purchase. DB, though, him against the world. The Gyrocopter's is back alive. They're going to be pretty cautious on Neon, actually. Mice might get blown up. Sharpshooter's going to fly. Oh, Gyro's going to be able to take the damage, so DK will be okay.
Oh, God.
Joe!
Nice. Oh.
DB? Oh, so
hell?
greedy. So greedy.
Look, the important thing is he got his Midas off during that previous fight, so everything's okay.
Right.
And we talked about the importance of the Bat Rider having his BKB. Not going to have it for quite some time. Doesn't even have it queued up. But honestly, even Azura just having it himself, right? To be able to not care quite as much about the Bat Rider. Yes, it is still going to be... You're still going to need to be careful around the Sand King, because I think Azura is by far the... sorry, not Azura. Enryu is by far the biggest reason why Neon won that previous fight. He was just on point, hitting, I think, 3 separate multi-person Burrow strikes in, including the epicenter to be able to start everything off.
Yeah, it's also kind of the story so far of the Pro Series. Sand King.
Do you... I really don't like Mice's choice to go for a Linken's this game.
Radiant are
Sorry.
scanning.
We'll talk about it a bit more. They're going for a smoke here.
They're onto Azura. The chain control should be on there, so no opportunity for the Shadow Dance. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Mice. Time will come shortly. The chain control is going to fly through afterwards with a homing missile. And the TPs, they don't have a T2 tower to be able to join the fight. As I don't think it's enough to keep Mice alive. Jing, he went for the bushwhack, but a little bit too late, unfortunately. So a 1-for-1. Both the position ones have been killed off.
Normally I would feel like I'm safe to talk, but with the way this game's gone, probably not. 41 kills in 20 minutes seems good. But basically what I was saying before is, how do you feel about this Linkens? Because I hate it on the Faceless Void right now. Like, what are you stopping?
Hate's a
You're
strong
stopping... And it is fitting for this game. Like, what are you stopping? You're stopping a homing missile and you're stopping a dragon tail. Other than that, absolutely nothing. Army Geniuses don't exactly have a crazy amount of chain lockdown, right? If you're leashed by the Slark, you could BKB out of that. You could BKB to avoid Gyro dealing a ton of damage to you. You could BKB to avoid Timbersaw doing a ton of damage to you. So I just feel like BKB would be a much better item than the Linkens.
Avatar mode. It's going to run into the smoke. Oh, Wombi just gets a yours off. Oh my god. Why are they doing this much damage, man? It's not fair.
You play near trees, that's what's going to happen. Plus the impact of support Gyro. He doesn't need Black Cannon. He's already put his extra point into 2 attributes. Love to see you.
So you know the issue with this though, with the Gyro having such a good game, is that they're going to try and run it again in the playoffs. And it's
going to work wonderfully.
I don't know if it is, because really this is a combo again. We spoke about it in the draft. It's a combo they tried to run I think at the start of the DPC, 2-2, and definitely in 2-1, and yeah, it wasn't working. So I hope they don't get debated into running into the playoffs and then lose a couple games with it.
I think they're going to be just fine. I mean, this roster just seems to click a little bit more, right? Where they're able to work around the various strengths. I feel like the laning has just improved drastically. We weren't expecting, you know, all lanes to win, basically, like we saw this game. And yeah, it fits their constant brawling style, right? Just go for basic survivability, just a casual cloak, casual fluffy hat. He had raindrops for the longest time on Varese. It's all about just being able to
Varese's position.
Present. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Pops the smoke, gives him time to be able to click Roche. And of course, it'll cost him his life, but you avoid a fight.
Monkey?
That's
not as good.
Namen?
Maybe you could have said, like, maybe the monkey was the better target to be there just because he could be, you know, inside the
trees. Are they going to go for this? Dragon Tail stun with the burst. Nice reset with the Force Staff, and now they're actually going to try and turn this one around. The Chronosphere used for the first life along with the Epicenter, so they don't have anything now for round 2. Anybody's actually going back in. A great use of the Chakram, getting rid of the Bushwhack, so this will buy Zero some time to ulti and get out. But Neon, they've completely taken away this Aegis advantage now. Oh, they're underneath the ward. This is no good. This is no good. DB's gonna jump. Batrider's the first target they want to be able to bring down. Another Force Staff, though. They're doing a very good job to be able to kite Army Geniuses with these defensive items. The rocket.
One more hit. Hey, he's good.
DB?
I think 3 towers in the meantime.
That's greedy. Another nice force, and they're out of harm's way. Gonna get the Bushwhack drag back. They don't really have the burst potential. They're going to turn their attention now towards the Timber Sword, but again, they don't have the burst potential. So it should be okay. Should be able to get rid of the Spirit Vessel. Yules can dodge it. Nama needs a body. Okay, it just flies on past him. Defensive Wukongs, and they'll get out. What's going on?
There's two teams that want to run at each other. I mean, Army Geniuses, like we've said, their upper bracket is secure. It's really just a difference of, are they going to finish 3rd or are they going to finish 4th?
Radiant are scanning.
They're just having a good time. Why not? Get the morale up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh no, they see everyone coming out the side the base, and meanwhile Mice bottom lane is showing. Get out, my friend. He's got Lincolns now. You'd hate for this courier to be sniped off, moving from top. Secret shot. Oh wait, where is it? Never mind, that's Gyros.
It delivered it. Okay. Oh, he had the BKB queued up and then went back into the Shadow Blade. Not the biggest fan. I mean, just to have something else to be able to break the Timber is okay, I guess, but I don't know. And the DK, I suppose.
Middle tower has fallen.
Top lane. Oh no, they're gonna find Enryu. He's really been a big reason why Neon have been able to turn some of these fights around. And he will blink away, but they have the lane ward deep up top behind the remnant of the tier 2 tower, so Army Geniuses, they're going to be cautious though. One is completely split. Gonna go for Yules early on, tries to get rid of some of the combo, but the Spirit Vessel reapplied, and great Bushwhack timing. Zwami biting off a bit more than he can chew, playing away from the team.
It's gotten to the stage where you really just can't be solo anymore. Even someone like a Timbersaw can get bursted down like that, of course, with a Sharpshooter. Very easy way to be able to take him down. So they just really need to consolidate their lead. They've got all outer towers, I suppose, so they're like, well, what now? It's essentially just a wait for Roche sort of timing. Play around the outpost, make sure you're not losing that additional XP advantage that you're getting every single minute. I think that would probably be the best play for Army Geniuses right now. They haven't taken a single tower on Neon.
Oh, true.
That's the current situation. Bot might go down shortly just because I don't think Army Geniuses want to be here, and the creeps might just do it passively, but it's still a really poor situation to have to be in.
Can you shoutcast the creeps taking bottom?
And the creeps fighting the creeps, the melee hitting the melee, tower helping out, blah, 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 blah. That's all that matters. Man, speak quickly. That's what a play-by-play has to do.
Get jiggy with it. You got a roar as well at some stage in the middle.
Where's the roar in this game?
Radiant's
Doesn't
bottom
matter.
tower is under attack.
They're gonna get a tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
They will get a tower.
They'll get a tower.
Let's go.
They're walking underneath this ward inside the mid lane, so they're seeing that they're venturing inside the
just
dire
double smoke?
triangle. I was not watching them. I was watching Army Geniuses.
They could definitely turn this game around with their team fight. If they get a perfect combo, Army Geniuses still have to respect
Dire's
Neon's
middle
lineup.
tower is under
They
attack.
see
Alatomo,
the
nice
Firefly on
blink
the ground.
reaction.
The downside, right, of using that Firefly. You can be underneath the smoke, but it still reveals you.
Now Radiant, they're pushing back onto the map. I don't know if that ward by the river on Dire was able to scout out anyone on Army Geniuses.
I mean, Azura knows exactly where everything is, right? You're a Slark. You know where they've got the vision. It's they need a gem right now on Army Geniuses, honestly. I don't really see a big reason for not having it at this stage. Just because it's all about
They're gonna
choking
take
out
a
the
fight.
map.
He's in trouble for the moment. You can't heavily commit on the gyrocopter. And he's got a hood as oh, beautiful Lotus Orb, but it sends him back with the Burrow Strike, but it will not matter. You've lost Enryu. That's your team fight. That's your angle back in. Mike's gonna drop a solo Chronosphere to try and clean off DB. The Spirit Vessel's helping out drastically, but DB is not dead just yet. And now Dire, they gotta get out. It's not the team fight they were hoping for. The execution was off the mark, and when you're this far behind, it has to be perfect. This Army Geniuses punished them for this mistake, costing them 3 heroes and soon to be a 4th as Wummy will cut down that TP attempt.
Tower is under attack.
One of the advantages of playing Slark, right? Might not be the strongest carry in terms of carry-to-carry matchups, but in the lane against the Bat Rider, it proved to be incredibly
What?
effective, and it just means your vision is pretty useless. So are we seeing a dive here by Narman? Of course we are.
Well,
Trying to force out buybacks, I think.
yeah, well, Chuan almost forced Narman inside the base. That's what I was like, what's going on? And Ryu? Is he gonna go for this? Alright, that's a hell of a combo. DB will tick. Let's go, Enryu.
Damage really is lacking right now.
Azura.
Yeah, they
Forced
still
off.
got 4 stuffs.
He'll protect himself with the BKB. Chuan doesn't have this capability. You gotta get out if you're Radiant. The respawn's starting to come up.
They're wasting a lot of their time.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
Ooh.
just gets the leap off.
I have a good ward on the back line.
Yeah, there's what is still
They
here
see
somehow.
everything. Mice. Gotta be cautious still.
Being previously though.
I think they'll just sacrifice Narman's life. Poor Monkey King. I mean, you see how difficult it is to kill Narman. Biding a little bit of time. They might get their second tier 1. That's kind of hype.
That's kind of high. I mean, around Roche time, it actually is pretty significant to
Yeah.
be able to take that one away. But even now, they're not feeling confident enough
Radiant's
to be able to
middle
move on
tower is
forward.
under attack.
Is that... Let's face this Void God. Did he bring a Shadow Blade out to himself? No? He's just that poor, I guess. It's still not looking great. And they finally want to be able to take back that outpost. I mean, they've lost it for the past, what feels like 7 minutes now. So that's a lot of experience in Army Genius's favor.
Yeah, looks like the experience is pretty much the same as the net worth. Is it? What's going on? Never mind. It's not.
It's pretty similar.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. That graph just threw me off.
Very quick Roche respawn, like 10 seconds.
Radiant are scanning.
King's gonna scout it. So, because they were playing a little bit silly on Army Geniuses, they are not going to have a way to remove a lot of this outer vision. I mean, this Observer Ward is still there, the Give Chuan Win Ward that Varese is farming right on top of. And this is with a Slark. Like, they're going to pick him off. Right in front of Roshan.
I don't know if they can do it though. But a kill's a kill. A second kill is even better. He's going to protect himself with the BKB at the moment, but they can continue chasing if they feel like they can. They got Chrono.
Pop Chrono. You don't want to pop Chrono for a Dragon Knight. It is there for the Slark specifically. But I mean, you pop BKB, you don't have Gyrocopter, you still have Chronosphere, and yeah, I think this is the right choice. Go straight into Roshan. Force them to take a fight. Your
Radiant's
vision
middle
is
tower
superior
is
around
under
this area
attack.
at the time.
Ice is gonna start doing a bit of damage. She's got the Crystallis and the level 20 talent. So it's... You do kind of have to respect Mr. Void. I need some...
For all Neon know, though, like, they could have vision around this area on Army Genius's side. I don't think they have a gem at this stage, and they have no sentry wards. Both of these cliff wards on the left-hand side of Roche Pit could very easily just have Army Genius's vision.
This doesn't seem good. If they jump instantly, Mice is in trouble. He's already used Time Walk now. David's going to give them information. Enryu's in the pit! Oh no, Mice is blowing up. Enryu's going to be killed off, and now Roche is just free pickings as DB is turning to get the objective, but meanwhile Radiant are chasing down hero after hero. They want to jump in. Can they get the Aegis? It's on the deck. The stuns, they don't see it. No one can collect it. Finally, Jing will find it. But again, it comes at a cost, and a drastic one at that. There's Jing. Oh no, give him the clap. You may as well give him a clap before you die. There's no way you make it out. Army Geniuses lose no one. Really solid fight. Hoodwink does get the shard though, so... LU.
You can even give it to, though. Wind Ranger, I guess. But now that they actually have an advantage and they're going to be able to push on forward, it feels much more comforting. You've got the Aghanim Scepter on Wami as well. I still want to see him get the Flamethrower. Their damage for towers is kind of lacking, basically only around the Dragonite at this stage.
What's he got on the corridor?
Middle barracks has fallen.
Oh, check. It's coming in. Oh, no, man.
It's not his.
I think there's something flying out. I just...
Dire's bottom tower is under
On
attack.
the... It's
Dire's
not
bottom
for
tower
Timber,
has
though.
fallen.
Oh.
Lens.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Where's that?
Dire's bottom barracks are
Alright.
under attack.
Oh, you've lost the full set. Looks like you're going to lose a second as well. I like how they're putting DB on the front line, because blowing him up is not going to be easy. DB's able to pop the BKB, and Sandy's ground as a 4-staff Mice, giving him enough breathing room, but the time walk is still not a possibility. Enryu's even going to die inside the Wukongs. One more right click to secure the kill. Get some distance away. Wami's going to go for it, but they've already called it quits. As well,
Radiant's current
for Army Geniuses, firstly, that is an incredible series performance from them. Like we said, they were already guaranteed upper bracket, but 2-0 is going to give them a lot of momentum heading into phase 3. And for the lads on Neon, this is really scary now. We were saying that all they needed was one map victory against Army Geniuses, and they would have secured a spot in the lower bracket. But unfortunately for them, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, and now it feels like they're at the mercy of a lot of these other results that are about to come up. Polaris against Execration. I believe Neon don't want Execration to do well. Actually, I'm going to look into this while you bring us over the rest of the games that we've got for today.
All right. Well, like Gonad said, we are watching Polaris vs Execration next, which is going to be a very exciting series. Polaris have been kind of the top dogs for quite some time. Actually,
Okay. I'm pretty sure, and I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Neon only have one chance left for them to slip through to... It might even still tie it up. Hold on, give me a second.
All right, well, I think I'm a really big fan of Army Geniuses, and I know through that game we were kind of mentioning how they've been able to, like, this roster is looking much better than the last one. Of course, the performance is replicating that thought process, but I think in particular for me, their draft is something that has really improved overall. I know you spoke about the lanes, and of course, lanes, a lot of it comes down to execution, but a lot of it also comes down to the heroes you're playing and the heroes you pick yourself. I think that's one thing that I've been really impressed by from them. We saw in game 1, they gave DB the Ember Spirit. They flexed it to the Safe Flame, which is something that some teams can really struggle with. It's definitely a different playstyle for that hero. Game 2, we saw Azura pull out the Slark mid and DB playing a DK in the safe lane. So these are just the little things, and this is something that we see a lot of the really, really good tier 1 teams do, where they have the capability of, say, perfect example was Liquid for quite some time with Mike and Koifa. There's others, but I know they're not on the team now, but just the capability to...
And Gladiators give Ace Meepo if it's a great Meepo game, things like that.
Yeah, it's just... Dota at the moment, and honestly for quite some time, you have 3 stages. of course, laning phase, early, mid, and if you get to the late. But laning phase really sets up the game drastically. And if you fall
You don't
behind
have
in
a
that,
mid game.
exactly.
Laning stage doesn't do well.
And we are at a stage in Dota where it's been around for such a long time, and there's people are really improving at a drastic rate that if you fall behind in the laning phase, teams are just going to out execute. They know exactly what to do when they have the lead, what plays to make. And I think that's why there's so much importance on lanes. And that's why I've been a big fan of Army Genius in general. I think their drafts are really setting them up in a position to convert on these victories. So yeah, they take the 2-0, and now Gonad can run us through what's going
I
on.
think Neon might be out. I think they might be out because of that. Like, before this series, they were slightly behind both Motivate and Lil Gun in terms of their Nustartel score, which is what happens if they were all tied on 4 wins, 12 losses. It goes to that Nustartel, which basically is none of them 2-0'd anyone, so we can just ignore that. But basically, it takes half of the cumulative wins of all of the other teams that they won, right? Does that make sense? So if you're playing against a team that's got, if you won a team that has 9 overall wins, and a team that has 5, and a team that has 6, and a team that has 4, you would have 12 points because that adds up to 24, basically. So what that essentially means is, before this series, Neon were 1 point behind both Lil Gun and Motivate Trust, and the teams that Neon won were RSG, who don't have any games left, so nothing can change there. Lil Gun, and again, nothing changes because win or loss for Lil Gun is going to be just as good. Motivate, again, same sort of deal. They're the ones in the tiebreaker, so nothing's going to change. And Patriots, who don't have any games left. So I'm pretty sure that Neon are eliminated with this regardless of the upcoming results. So this was a big blunder to be able to drop this off what looked like a decent draft coming through from them. But I think Azura just played fantastically. I really liked the way that Varize played the gyrocopter as well. How much damage did he do? I wouldn't be surprised to see him up there towards the top here. Second most damage done in this game on Varize's gyro. Very nicely done.
Kind of hype. Like our second series is going to be Polaris against Execration. These two teams have already secured a position in the upper bracket, of course. Maybe if Execration can win, then it'll help out with seeding over Army Geniuses. That's something I guess we can look at. That's more Nustartel's law that we don't have to be worried about right now. But yeah, that's our first series done and dusted. Army Genius with a 2-0, and we believe Neon are eliminated with that. We will get confirmation shortly, but we're going to be moving on to Polaris versus Execration. We'll see you guys after the break.